We found through UFI, through an internet search back in January 19, and we went to an event that was put on in York and also in Birmingham, and we applied for the VocTech seed in, I think it was that year, but we didn't get through. And looking back, we understand exactly why we didn't get through.
It was just as well we didn't.
Yeah, we weren't ready, were we, at that point?
No.
Thankfully, UFI saw the potential in our project and gave us some funding through VocTech Ignite, which allowed us then to meet with Catherine Lowe, and she was fantastic.
Yeah.
And at that point set us on a journey of making a proof of concept.
Okay.
She gave us 5 days, didn't she, of digital learning design. But it was way broader than that. She actually helped us step back and consider the technicalities of it, how it would work, how it would all hang together.
Yeah.
And really opened our eyes to just as well we didn't secure the grant last time around, because we wouldn't have made good use of that money, just wouldn't have. And so she got us ready for the proof of concept and encouraged us actually to put together a pretty rough and scratty proof of concept.
Do you want to get some feedback?
Yeah.
What do your users really think about what you're proposing?
Absolutely.
Well, that and that was our second road trip. Our first road trip had happened the year before, where we tipped up to 10 or 15 manufacturing sites and said, what do you think of this? Sketched out an idea. What do you think of this? Here's our hypothesis. And you went, yeah, fair enough, try it. So then this second road trip with the POC really helped secure the idea.
Yeah, and it got some excitement as well, didn't it? And Catherine then introduced us to Svenlo, who was instrumental for us in helping us with the technical side. You know, that was one of our biggest gaps was technical. So
I'm the subject matter expert in terms of lean, and it was all in my head. There was this massive, joined up, beautifully rendered system in my head that would have cost several £1 million to put together. And Sven kind of helped us clear the clouds away and said, look, for clarity, you don't have to build everything now. You don't have to put all the plumbing in. You can just do enough, and showed us how it all hung together. They showed us the steps in the dance about who you need to engage, art director, graphic artist, technical lead, digital learning designer. That was all a bit baffling for us.
It just put us in a much better position. And by that time, we'd been to the UFI showcase and got a name of a learning designer from them that they used, which we then contacted and got her on board, so that when we put our application in next time for the VocTech seed,
it was the whole package. You got it all there.
And we actually used some of their time ahead of the application just to make sure that what we were presenting wasn't too big. It wouldn't take NASA or to put it together, because that was one of the flaws of the first one, that it was a realistically scoped application.
So tell me about your journey. Were there other things that UFI introduced you to that have been helpful?
Jane Holmes has been instrumental really in introducing us to the added extra benefits that UFI have brought, which has been pitching,
outcomes,
IP audit. We've got
John Cook in terms of mentoring, how to put the business model together, how to look at pricing, because our business is pivoting from a consultancy model into a one-to-many digital scaling model. Then we're working out exactly how to do that, because it's very different. It's that constant battle between, we're creating a prototype that we have to test, and the output of that test will define our future. But we can't just wait for that test to be done. We have to start planning for an uncertain future on the assumption that the test is going to give us a direction that's useful. So there's always a tension between planning enough but not planning too much. And the whole enrichment piece around that has been really helpful for us.
Yeah, I think that the support there is a loose framework that whatever the testing gives us, we'll find a path through that.
Thinking back, we did some work on outcomes and outputs. When we go to test, which is now actually, we're smack in the middle of testing. We've got 5 manufacturers, 20 users with it in their hands. So as you know, we've been up and down the country. We had a really vague, what do we want to get out of the test kind of thing. In talking with Matt from the enrichment, he helped us define, look, you need to be more specific, you need to create a decent hypothesis. And so out of that, we managed to split very early. What do we want to test quantitatively? What do we want to test qualitatively?
Yeah.
Actually, we managed to build the app better to get the back end data, because we had the early intervention, if you like, on think about outcomes and outputs.
It has helped us when we get the feedback that we're not going to have big gaps of what we wish we would have asked.
Yeah, you know, how engaging is it? Where do they
Yeah.
dive in, dive out? Where is it interesting or not interesting? How often do they go back and play the videos? Did they complete stuff?
Yeah.
But actually, almost more to the point, we laugh because, and it's probably the nature of having been freelance consultants. I think I have an above average confirmation bias, and I'm very good at priming the witness. So the more I say to a tester before they actually test, the more I'm shaping the answer I want.
Yeah.
So actually, when we've been, I've got it here. When we've been testing this week, I've actually been working to a script.
Very good.
You know, to make sure that we show them just enough to be able to use it, but not so much that we start to pollute the testing. And the worst outcome here is that we skew the testing, and we then go on to invest in a product that the market really doesn't want.
And Jane was telling me that it's 5 companies across different sectors, so you're really spreading your bets about where this might be useful.
Yeah, we profiled larger businesses, Gemma, didn't we?
Yeah.
Bigger
5
businesses.
large manufacturers.
Yeah, 5 large manufacturers across automotive, food and drink, so wine bottling. There is a medical devices company who have been very busy during COVID, and we threw something else into that hat as well. So we have our large testing manufacturers, because there's a critical mass of our vocational people there, our team leaders, smart people, very smart people, time starved, money starved, and they hated school. But if you want to see the finest banter in the world, you don't go to a boardroom. You try to keep up with team leaders as they savage each other. We've also got one trial where we're with SMEs, an SME that's only about 12 million turnover. They've got 3 sites. So we're thinking, because 90% of people in this country in manufacturing are employed in SMEs, you know, can we do like a light version? We're using the eye tracking in 2 ways. One is to test the UX of what we've designed on the actual app, which I think would be really handy. Because I've gone blind looking at it. I don't think I have an opinion on it now.
Yeah, it's really, when you're immersed in it, it's really tricky then to stand back.
You know it too well.
We know it too well. Yeah, that's right.
But also the second piece is that one of the modules is how to teach team leaders how to find problems early on their patch in the factory. So there's the before sharpness of the eyes, and then we train them, upskill them, and then there's an after piece for how sharp their eyes are. And we're going to use the eye tracking to try to get some hard measurement of their search strategies before and their search strategies after on their actual factory. So it's a nice mix of how we're trying to use it.
That's fascinating. Well, I wish you the very best of luck with the testing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So if you had one thing you could say to me about your UFI experience, what would it be?
If I had to sum it up in one word, I'd say clarity. It's given us a clear way forward that might not lead us to an eventual answer that's going to pop like a tech unicorn, but it has given us clarity of what to go out and try and how to try it in a sensible way that doesn't cul-de-sac you.
It's also given us a focus, a time focus as well, because of the monthly check-ins coming and us hitting milestones. I think that has helped us to keep honest and get the project on time and on budget.
Yeah, it creates a nice cadence, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
And can I add one more thing?
You can.
It wasn't until getting involved with UFI that personally I grasped the difference between face-to-face learning and digital learning. And so the Ignite intervention with Catherine and the ability to see, you can't just put what you've got up. You have to consider that people learn differently, and the micro learning, and how to create a nice cadence to it, and the personalization, adaptive nature. All of that was a revelation to me, because subconsciously you train that informally face to face. So it was very different. During early lockdown, when the world was shut, I spent a lot of time going through the Blended Learning Essentials course that I think was funded by UFI. I went through both those courses, and that was very educational.
Congratulations on getting to where you've got to, and the very best of luck for the future.
Thank you very much.